With many people still working from home because of the pandemic, the province has proposed legislation that would give workers a right to disconnect from the office. It would update labor laws and set boundaries around work and leisure time. Employment lawyer Alex Lucifero joins us now to talk more about this. Alex, so first of all, tell us about what this new legislation would mean for both employees and employers in the province.
Sure. So, I like the idea of this new legislation, Matt. It effectively means that employers are going to have to draw a hard line between work and one's personal life. And so that means that they will have to implement a policy that spells that out and effectively spells out that an employer is not allowed to contact an employee off hours. And of course, that's relevant nowadays because more and more over the past, decade or so, someone's work life for lots and lots of employees have started to bleed into their personal life in the form of answering emails, taking phone calls, video calls, instant messages. And again, that's what this law is trying to prevent. Again, the idea is good. I'm a little worried about the implementation of it.
Right. And again, the concerns too. What specifically too are you concerned about with that implementation? Is it enforcement too, or what are you looking at when it comes to that?
It is. That's spot on, Matt. It's the enforcement piece, which is really what the law requires is for employers to institute a policy. It really stops short of anything else. And so it's not even clear what the policy is going to be with respect to these employers. It certainly has to be about the right to disconnect. But again, there's no more meat there. There's no substance there. And so for an employee to file a claim with the Ministry of Labor, for example, at least at this point in time, the legislation may change. Again, there's not enough teeth there to really make it enforceable.
Right, and I guess too that's the thing at this point, as you mentioned, for now. Now, another part of this legislation is the banning non-competition clauses too, right? Which are in some people's contracts. But tell us about what that means for workers and for employers too.
Sure. So certainly on behalf of employees, and as an employment lawyer, we speak to employees every day with respect to these issues. I like this part of the legislation much, much more in the sense that this is an outright ban on non-competition clauses. What a non-competition clause is effectively a provision that bans an employee from going out and competing with their current employer. Some of those clauses are for 6 months, others are for 12 months, others are for 2 years. And now, courts really don't like enforcing these kinds of provisions, but an out-and-out ban from the government in the Employment Standards Act will send a very, very clear message to employers that these clauses are effectively useless. There's no point trying to rely on them. They're illegal.
Right, and again, haven't always been enforceable anyways, but certainly interesting it's lumped in with this. Alex Lucifero, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you, sir.